Hello, my friends. Today is my car not wanting to reverse. Today is February 25th, and it is my oldest son Gavin's birthday. He is 20 today. I have a child who is 20 years old today. How in the heck did that happen? I am like, I don't know, like my brain doesn't even really comprehend that. Like, I am the mother of a 20-year-old. Like, he's not a teenager anymore. So that's crazy. So the good thing about that is that he's 20. I mean, that's great. And we are going out to dinner later today to celebrate him. Our lives have been so insanely crazy lately. I thought I would just give you a little fill-in because I know some of you have watched some of my other videos, know a little bit about some things that have been going on. Oh my gosh, you guys, you have no idea. So, I basically told my husband today, I said, I need a day where I'm by myself. Like right now, in the car, it's the first time I've been by myself at all in, I don't even know how long it's been, like 2 weeks probably. I need a day by myself, and I seriously, like, literally feel like I could scream. Like I need some sort of a release. I know I'm gonna cry when I get that chance. I haven't had the time. And so, and I'm a crier. I'm a very emotional person, but I literally have felt so completely overwhelmed that I feel like I don't even have time to think about what's actually been going on. So to give you a little fill-in, our dog died at the end of January, which was very difficult for all of us, and I kind of went into a bit of a tailspin at that point. It affected me a lot more than I thought it would because I'm not a huge animal lover. Like, I like animals, I don't mean that, but I'm not a like, oh, I love, like, they're part of my family. Like, I never really, that's not how, like, my mentality of things with her was. Like, she was like my little sidekick, whatever, and I loved her, but it wasn't like she was one of my kids or that kind of thing. Like, that, I've just never been that type of person toward animals. But when she died, it hit me very hard, and I wasn't expecting that. So that kind of started me into things, and as you might know too, I was doing like a 8-week challenge to lose weight and get in shape, and not so much lose weight, but like to get toned up and feeling really good and looking really good. When she died, I sort of just like checked out a little bit on that. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. I just had other things going on. It also was a time where my kids were out of school a ton. They have been all through January and February. My kids have been out of school a ton because we live in Michigan. The weather has been really bad, whether it's been ice or snow or just extremely cold temps that make it temperatures. I never say temps, that's weird. That made it where it's like unsafe for people to be outside for more than like 5 minutes without getting frostbite. I don't even know if it took that long, but anyway, my kids hadn't been in school much, so things just fell off. I didn't feel like I could focus on eating the way I needed to and getting in workouts, and with trying to get my kids to where they needed to be. My husband would be in one direction and I would be in another, and I had started a job and I hadn't worked out of the house in I think 4 years or something like that. So a lot of big changes happening and just stuff going on, but I don't want to beat a dead horse because a lot of you already know that. So then came, my husband has been suffering with back issues for years, and in July last year we were staying at a cabin, and we would do these things where we'll do like family planks, and so we'll do like, oh, you know, we have to do a minute plank or whatever, 2 minute, try to do 2 minute, like, we're not that good at it. My youngest son is, but anyway, it was just like a thing we would do, like, oh, family plank time, you know, kind of thing. And my husband was doing that, and something just felt funny all of a sudden. Well, then he like was in pain, but we were on vacation. He's like, I'm sleeping in a different bed, blah, blah, blah. Well, it wasn't getting better. In October, he decided to try to do these yoga stretches for lower back pain, and he was doing one and felt something just sort of like pop, and that was it. And he has been in such excruciating pain, nerve pain, since then. It shot from like his left butt cheek all down his left leg into his foot and everything, but to the point where like just so uncomfortable, like miserable all the time. Can't sit anywhere. He's like standing in our living room or laying on the floor. I mean, it was terrible. So a couple weeks ago, it got so bad. So he had started going to a doctor. Like we went to see a doctor. Well, no, he had been going to a doctor. They had done physical therapy and shots and chiropractic and all this stuff. Nothing's helping. So he had gone to see a back specialist, and that guy, like, I felt like he wasn't really listening to what we were saying about how severe the pain was. He's like, yeah, nerve pain can be really rough, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, not to be a TMI, but like, it's so bad in the morning. He's so tensed up, like, that he can't get up and go to the bathroom in the morning, because he's like, when you wake up in the morning, your bladder's full, and it's like the first thing you want to run and do. He would be so tensed up because he was in so much pain that he like couldn't go to the bathroom. And so when you've already got this full bladder, and then you've got that, like, what a miserable thing that is, right? And so he would have to get up, go lay on our living room floor with an ice pack for a while before he could get up and go to the bathroom. That's ridiculous. No one should have to do that. And so this one morning, he woke up and he was literally like screaming and crying in pain. So I didn't know if I was going to have to call an ambulance to come and get him, or if I could get him out to our vehicle, but my middle son and I ended up getting him out to our truck, and I took him in this horrible sleet, snow, ice storm to the hospital, to the ER. And basically they just tried to pump him full of pain medication that did nothing, because it doesn't touch nerve pain, and sent us off and said there's nothing else we can do for you. In the midst of all that, the fairly new worship pastor at our church, he actually just had back surgery a few weeks ago, and he ended up coming to the church because a friend of ours, mutually, she had let him know what was going on and gave him my number, and so we were talking to each other back and forth. He came to the hospital to pray with my husband, and also to give him his experience of what happened with him, because they had very similar experiences of how things started, how it, like, the major breaking point, that kind of thing, and gave us the information of his doctor. And we that day called. They got us and my husband an emergency appointment the next morning with an associate doctor in that same practice. And my husband just had back surgery last Tuesday, so the 19th. Yeah, the 19th. He's doing phenomenal. Like, literally, the leg pain, I just totally spit if you saw that. I do that here. If you're new, I'm like, oh, Emma. The nerve pain down his leg and into his foot, his butt cheek, all that, completely gone. Like, came out of surgery, gone. So he has had none of that. He is feeling fantastic. He said he feels like a new person. So, praise God for that. Like, everything fell right into place. He directed us just in the directions to go. So we're so happy about that. Awesome, okay? So that's all been going on. It's just been running places, getting my kids where they need to be. My husband not being able to drive, so that it makes extra for me. People have been helping us out, which is awesome. We've got a lot of really great, like, friends and other parents at the school that have been helping us out. And then my middle son had regionals tournament for bowling that started on Friday. Well, we had to leave Thursday. He had a bowling match, like, kind of on the way to where we were going for the tournament. So Thursday the 21st, we left to go there, and I have to say, my driving anxiety, I have to drive because my husband can't drive right now, and we were going to, like, big city places that I do not drive, but there was no choice. There's nobody else to do it. And I did really well all weekend. Do I like it and want to do it again? No. But I did it, and I didn't kill us. So that's good. But so we went there on Thursday, they bowled on Friday. The team portion of the tournament. And to qualify for states, you have to be in the top 3. And there were 14 teams. And our school took first place. And this is, I think it's only happened one other time. And it was like in 2015 when they did it. So we were ecstatic. It was so exciting. The boys were so excited. It was just so much fun. However, on Thursday before we were leaving, my mom had called me and said, or no, on Wednesday actually, my mom had called me, and I knew by the way she said, "What you doing, hon?" And I said, "Oh, nothing, just getting ready for," my youngest son had a basketball game. And she said, I'm like, "What's going on?" Or "How are you?" or something. And she said, "Okay." And I'm like, "What's going on, Mom?" And so she gave me good news first, that she had been taking her mom to the doctor. My grandma has had some heart stuff going on that was a little scary and everything. And so that's been going on for months, that they've been working out medications and getting things taken care of with her. And so my mom had taken her for some, checkup things, follow-ups, and everything was great. Like, everything looked so good. So we're super happy about that and excited. My grandma was feeling very relieved, So great. And then she said, but then the bad news, and she just started crying. Well, I kind of already knew what was coming, simply because what's been going on over the past, since like March. Sorry, guys. And she was calling to let me know that my other grandma, my dad's mom, they were calling in hospice for her. And I listened to what she told me. Okay. Yep. All right, I understand, kind of thing. And I said, I feel kind of guilty right now to not be crying, but I think I've been preparing myself for this. My grandma had gotten dementia, and she had kind of mild dementia, and then when she fell last March, and broke her hip, she just went downhill really bad. And it has been now for several months where she doesn't know who people are sometimes, things like that. So it's been very, it's been hard. It hasn't been her. And so, for me, it's kind of like, I had already been letting her go. Like, it wasn't her anymore. So it didn't feel, I had already let her go, I guess is what I'm saying. I had already felt that loss of her. So, yeah, so that kind of, I didn't have that, stunned anything. She's been going downhill for a while, so we knew it was just a matter of time. So that was on Wednesday. So we left for the bowling tournament stuff on Thursday. The boys did awesome on Friday. And then Saturday was the individuals portion of the tournament. And you have to place in the top 10 out of 70 bowlers to go to states for individuals. My son's first game was a 224. And that put him in second place out of 70 bowlers. His second game was a 227. That put him in first place out of 170 bowlers. They just keep adding your score. It's whatever your score is at the end of 6 games. He had some really rough games, was falling down the list. We didn't think he was going to make it. I was feeling devastated. His one friend we knew was making it, but not by much. We weren't sure by how much. His friend got 8th place, and when they said his score, which we already knew what his score was, when they said his score and we realized it was him for 10th place and then said his name, I freaked out. I was like so stupidly excited, like just such a proud mom. So that was how that worked. And so that was really awesome. So that means that next weekend we are going to states. Or this coming up weekend. So super excited about that. However, in the meantime, on Saturday or Friday after they had won, I kept checking in, about my grandma and stuff. And at one point they had said that the on Thursday, they said that the hospice nurse said if anyone wants to see her, they need to come as soon as they can because it's a matter of days. And so that was on Thursday. And on Friday, then the boys had won their trophy, and we all went to Applebee's, the whole team and stuff. And we just sat down at the table, and I got a text, and I looked. And actually earlier in the day, my sister had sent me a text saying, just wanted to let you know that the priest is coming to give Grandma her last rites and stuff. And I got a text right when we sat down to eat that she had passed at 4:38 on Friday, late afternoon. And I wasn't going to look down the table and tell my sons that their grandma had just passed away when we're celebrating and getting ready to, have a meal with everyone. And so it was kind of once we got back to the hotel and stuff later that I was able to tell them. But in the meantime, my dad had sent me a text and said something really cool. Okay, my grandma's name was Rita Margaret, and margaritas were her favorite drink. So she always said, I'm Rita Margaret, and margaritas are my favorite drink. And it's just kind of cute, like the way her name, flip-flopped, whatever. She passed away on February 22nd, which was National Margarita Day. Like, is that a coincidence? Absolutely not. God, I truly believe God is in every little detail of things. Those are like little hugs from God that he's just saying, I'm here, I see you, I know. And like, it's just him letting us know and giving us like a spark of something joyful in the midst of something sad. So it could not have been more perfect that Rita Margaret left this earth on National Margarita Day. And so I'm so thankful for that. I know that's something we'll talk about forever. And will just be something, that's just a fun thing that we get to celebrate. And I don't drink, but but I mean, it's just so cool how it happened like that. And then let's see what else. I guess just those are kind of the updates. We're getting ready to go to States next weekend. We actually had when we got back on Saturday night, we went to my mom and dad's, and my uncle was up from Georgia, and then my other uncle had come over. We all spent the night there, my sisters and us and stuff, and just spent some family time together, so that was really nice. And so now we're just doing what we need to do this week, as far as I'm getting the kids where they need to go and that kind of stuff. And then next week should settle down a little bit, which will be good because I haven't had time. I have not cried. I have not mourned my grandma. Like I said, I know I've kind of let her go over the past several months, but still, I know it's coming, and I know it's just kind of a matter of feeling like I have the time to appropriately mourn, because I feel like right now I'm going from one thing to another. I don't have time to cry. Like, I have to get my makeup on and go to work. I have to get my makeup on and go to a bowling match or a basketball game, or, and so yeah, the morning's gonna come, and I know it will, and I know it's probably gonna hit me hard, because right now I'm just sort of in the motions of doing what we're doing and riding the excitement of stuff with my son with bowling and stuff like that. So I'm thankful for those things, because I also feel like God has placed that timing the way he did to kind of help all of us, especially my middle son Riley, because he's shared a special bond with my grandma. For whatever reason, even when she was forgetting who people were, she always remembered him, and she would bring him up when he wasn't there. And this one time, like over a year ago, they had gone to Jimmy John's, my aunt and my cousin's daughter and my Riley and my grandma, and had gone to Jimmy John's and got subs, and for some reason that just stuck with my grandma, and she would always talk about how Riley loved the Jimmy John's sub, and she wanted to buy him a sandwich. She would talk about it all the time, and he loved that. And so he had a very hard time finding out that she was dying. He wanted to be able to go and see her. She wasn't talking, she wasn't, so I kind of tried to explain that to him, and it was the day that we were leaving, or actually we were supposed to be leaving that next day. And he had a hard time, and when I told him that she had passed away, he acts out. He doesn't cry, really, hardly ever, And he kind of gets like acts out in anger a little bit when he's really upset, and so he was kind of slamming things around in the hotel room. And then when I told him about the National Margarita Day thing, he got this big old grin on his face, and he's like, "Are you serious? That is the coolest thing ever." And it completely changed the way he was reacting. And I think that is another testimony to how God uses little details in our lives, because that made all the difference to him. It turned it into something that, like, he could see a positive in, you know, something that just, I don't know, it completely changed things for him, you know, just his demeanor and stuff in that moment. And then when he, you know, it was starting to go out on social media because my uncle had put it out. That's a different story. And so when he went down to the room where all of the other teammates were and stuff, and they were getting ready to dye their hair blue, people were like, "Riley, I'm so sorry about your grandma," and everything, and, you know, and trying, you know, comforting him and stuff. And then he was like telling them about the whole National Margarita Day thing, and they were like, "Are you serious?" Like, they all thought it was so cool. So it was a cool thing that he could share with them too. So so that's what's going on with me. I'm sorry if this is really long. This is the first week. I think since I've been doing this for over a year, I've only missed one upload, and this will be the first week where I will miss more, because it's life. I'm telling you right now what's been going on. It's been crazy. I haven't had time to record or do anything. So this is just a little update for you guys. And I know people like car vlogs, and this is probably not a very exciting one, but it's life. It's my life, and I want to share it with those of you who want, you know, to be a part of it, or whatever. Sometimes you just need to hear other people's stories, and it's healing for you too. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll be back soon with, next week probably, with more videos and fun stuff. So thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.